for Ukraine, energy security is a fundamental reason of all geopolitical instability. So you fix energy security, and it's possible to fix maybe geopolitical crisis in the whole region. Do you agree with this kind of statement?
I think energy security has been a huge factor in the stability or instability of the region. And I do think it's a specific tool that is in Ukraine's hands to be able to work with the energy sector, create the conditions for investment. And if it can do that, it could reduce its dependence on imports. It could reduce the financial and economic leverage that has been used externally by Russia over Ukraine's decision-making, so that Ukraine can take decisions that are based on its own interests. Energy security alone won't solve all of Ukraine's problems. There are other issues that it needs to address, but it is a very powerful tool that it can use to advance its own interests.
You've been saying that you're actually impressed by energy, the level of energy efficiency that Ukraine achieved in the last year. So a lot has been done, but at the same time, when Ukraine being criticized for lack of reforms when it comes to corruption, energy is always the case where people say that it's actually a huge achievement in the last year. What particularly impresses you so much when it comes to energy efficiency, especially?
On energy efficiency, we still don't know exactly what has been achieved. There has been a reduction in consumption, a very significant reduction, but part of it has been because of the war situation in the east and the south. It's also resulted in a sharp decline in economic activity. There's been a recession. So how much of that is actually due to efficiency is still not clear. One of the things that has been put in place has been a gradual increase in prices. That gradual increase will have an impact on consumption. There are additional increases that will come in April of next year, and then eventually subsidies will be phased out in April 2017. Those are important measures to increase incentives to use energy more efficiently. But what still is in the process of being put in place are the specific measures on a municipal level, at a household level, that will technically increase efficiency. And those still haven't been fully deployed yet, and we need to see what the impact of them are. The positive thing is that they can have a significant additional impact on the economy.
When it comes to Russian gas, the Ukrainian government likes to brag that they decreasing the dependency on Russian gas and getting more and more gas from Europe, for example. But at the same time, that most of that gas is reverse gas flow from Russia. Do you think that it's really possible to fix this issue of dependency, not only Ukrainian but European dependency on Russian gas? And a lot of people here, especially at this conference, suggest that without an energy union inside the European Union, it's not possible to fix either Ukrainian dependency on gas or European dependency as a whole.
No, it's definitely possible to fix the issue of dependency on Russian gas. I think the basic issue to illustrate this is to take the numbers. It used to be that Ukraine consumed about 50 billion cubic meters of gas every year. Right now it's consuming about 40. It may be, in fact, a bit less than that. Right. Of that 40, Ukraine produces about 20 billion cubic meters today. It's very possible for Ukraine to increase that production up to 30 billion cubic meters over the next decade. Some of that will be through private production. Some of it can come from the state. The capability has already been put in place for Ukraine technically to import on the scale of 10 to 15 billion cubic meters of gas from Europe. Some of that gas is gas that the European countries have imported from Russia, but some of it's not. For example, Norway exports a significant amount of that gas. Increasingly, Europe is actually changing its import patterns. It's importing gas from Russia, but it has many different options, particularly with the increased competitiveness of liquefied natural gas, of LNG. So Already you have had a massive change in the European gas market. It is a much more competitive market with different rules and new rules. When Europe buys gas from Russia, it is no longer Russian gas. It becomes European gas, and they are allowed to trade it and to sell it. Those kinds of changes in the marketplace in Europe, combined with the ability to trade and move gas into Ukraine from the West, the ability of Europe to get gas from multiple sources, the ability of Ukraine to actually produce more gas for itself, and then measures that Ukraine can take to increase its efficiency can put Ukraine into a situation where if it wants to import gas from Russia in the future because it's the cheapest option, it could, but it will have other alternatives.